All right, so I just wanted to let you know that today it was some pretty serious assault today. Just not giving me any breathing room, and finally was able to determine that they did trigger me to have basically like a. I don't know. This happens to me a lot when I get really good sleep. Then I'll basically something small will happen. I'll just have an emotional breakdown over it, and I'll just be in a really terrible mood all day long. I think it's because I just don't hardly get any good sleep. But anyways, so it just it just looks like they primed me for that and it's hard to say if it was them or not, but pretty sure it was them because of the intensity of the feelings that I was having prior to that. Felt like women were like crowding in on me for thinking something or having a realization or something, just the way women get imperious and stuff. And then I came across this woman, just passed her, and she just had the most vicious look. I was working through a real serious problem in my head, and I was just the way she looked at just, oh God, just brought so much out of her. You know what I mean? Just, oh, women are just like this. You know what I mean? It's just full commitment. It's such a commitment with them. When it comes to seeing a man who's having some kind of success in life, then there's such a commitment there to be, just imperious with him or domineering, or it's pretty serious. But anyways, what I'm saying is that that's not really a big deal to sit there and dwell on it all day long, but I think they set that up. And so anyways, even with it being like that, it just felt like I'm in such a terrible place mentally and emotionally that who could even really mess with me? And I think that is kind of the case. Today I've been in such a terrible place mentally and emotionally that, yeah, they screwed with me, just because of, just if it seemed like I was about to achieve catharsis, and that's what's needed to kind of probably get out of something like that. I don't know, because the meltdown was so bad. But anyways, it just they wouldn't let me have that. I think they even said at one point, I don't want you to have that or something. Just like I'm taking that from you. You know what I mean? And so, but they before that happened, they were calling me ugly at at the gas station, and so you're ugly, you're ugly, you're ugly. One of the homeliest people in the world, one of the ugliest people, something like that. Like I said, ever since I released that publication summarizing the Pizzagate documentary, it's just been bad. And I think what they're doing is just letting us know that that's why they're acting like that, and they're establishing pretense for divine retribution. And the way they're acting is so crazy. I don't even think that they're going to let us know what's coming. It's anyways. They refer to themselves sometimes as a demon. Something is a demon after you. You know what I mean? So, but what that is you couldn't even put words to it. You know what I mean? But anyways, something they said today repeatedly was 1% of what we do comes from us. And I think what they're saying is just there's probably something important that they want to tell me, but it's just so clouded by the need to cause confusion and fear. You know what I mean? Fear. Yeah, fear. And so, but they they're it's not just, but it's harassment and the feeling of I can't get out of this no matter what, agitation, just you're not just gonna sit there and think your way out of this. You know what I mean? Or I'll be like, okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna quit thinking, because and I told him, it's not because I'm not trying to mess this up for you or something. Just at some point, I just can't keep thinking because but it's always a trap. It's always, it's weaponized every thought, and then they'll kind of draw that out of me, to have to engage with them, or even just that, even just to say to them, well, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to your program. I can't just sit here and just take this, and that was turned into an assault, so. But it's really, you're just myself. I'm not able to think my way out of it. You know what I mean? Really, really not. And sometimes I look at it as like a challenge to see. It's like I'm curious to know if a person could, just shut down their mind and go into a state of meditation and just withstand anything, even from an alien. And I have such a curiosity about that sometimes I want them to, but probably wouldn't like me to say that. But either way, the point of the story is just, but it just doesn't work out. You know what I mean? It really doesn't. They just find a way to it's just one of the things they'll do. Sometimes when I quit thinking is they'll draw a response out of me because see they can have the voice that they speak to me in. Has become my train of thought as well. So when they start to solicit a response, then the mind wants to engage with it, and so then I get assaulted, So I don't see it as there is a way for me to get out of it. But anyways, but there you go. Yeah, real bad, and even today it was just it was like, I said, can I just lay here and cool off before I make this video? Oh, another thing too, and they're like, well, it doesn't matter. And then they told me karma's a bitch if I don't get up while I'm still hot and make the video so I look agitated. But either way, the point of the story is that, the point of the story is just that, one of the things that they've been working on me on the point of the story. One of the things that they've been working on me a lot is, fear. You know what I mean? And so it's, there's people out there. Are there different kinds of people out there? Big men are out there, this kind of thing. So, so they got me scared, you know what I'm saying? So, real scared. So, but anyways.